Okay, we're ready to start Chapter 4 in SMR. Be sure that you have your book, something to write with, and don't forget your chapter outline sheet that you need to fill in as we go through this chapter together. The title of this chapter is Finding the Basic Facts. Sometimes when you read for just a novel, you're not really looking for anything in particular. You're just reading the story for pleasure. Other times you're going to be reading to gain information, which is what most of your college reading is going to be about. So again, that's why we're emphasizing how to handle large amounts of text so that you can break it down and get the information that you need to build your comprehension. One thing I think that a lot of students omit is actively thinking about what you're reading. A lot of times people just will read the words and try to remember it, and it doesn't work because your brain is almost like a file cabinet. And when you get new information, you have to find a place to put it. And so if you start to become more active in thinking how this information fits into what you already know, you're going to find that your comprehension will increase. Sometimes you're not going to know anything about the topic, and that's okay. Start a new file, but you have to have some way to organize it in your brain. One thing I want you to start thinking about is asking yourself questions. As you read, you're constantly, because if you're not asking yourself questions, a lot of times when your instructors, when we're giving you information, will ask you questions. The whole point of that is to get your brain activated. It's to get you thinking about what you're going to read. Well, if you're reading a textbook, you need to come up with those questions so that your brain is active. Otherwise, you're going to think about what you're doing this weekend. So you constantly need to be training your brain to stay focused with what you're reading, and one way to do that is to ask yourself questions. And I call them guide questions. So say you are in a science class and you're about to read a chapter and you see a heading called maybe Newton's third law of relativity. I don't even know what that means. But rather than just saying, I don't know what that means, and start reading, ask yourself a question. Well, who's Newton? Or it might be, what's the law of relativity? What is relativity? Anything that's going to get your brain activated so that way when you start reading, you're looking for those answers. Another heading might be plate tectonics, the plates under the earth. So again, I didn't know there were plates under the earth. What are plates under the earth? What does all that mean? Just anything that you can, and it's also going to depend on your prior knowledge or your background knowledge that Megan talked about. If you already know something about it, your question's going to be different from someone who knows nothing about the topic. So this is where you have to be active and responsible for your own learning. So you're going to want to look at the headings. Ask yourself, for example, in our book, the first heading is asking the right questions. Well, what's a question you could ask yourself about that? What kind of questions? You might say, why am I asking myself questions? You might ask, what kind of questions am I supposed to ask? And then your brain goes, okay, I'm going to look for that answer as you're reading. So the best way to be, and we'll talk quite a bit about being an active reader versus a passive reader. If you're active in sports, you're actually doing the sport. If you're passive, you're maybe watching the sport. You're a bystander. We want you to become an active reader, which means you're going to participate. Ask yourself those questions as you're reading. Constantly ask yourself, does this make sense? Where does this fit in my file cabinet? If it doesn't make sense or you don't understand what you're reading, stop. Because to continue on reading and not understanding is going to be a waste of your time. So again, these are strategies to help you move across the kind of reading material that you're going to be confronted with when you take further classes on down the road. There are two general types of questions. I'm sorry I didn't tell you we're on page 52 if you didn't already get that. There are simple questions, and these are questions that are going to require maybe one or two word answers. For example, who? From the reading in one of the earlier chapters, who were the Phoenicians? Remember, they were the ones that had the first alphabet. Real simple answer. Where? Where did the Phoenicians live? Mesopotamia. When? When was that first alphabet created? First alphabet was created about 4,000 years ago. So those are simple recall questions, which is what we all like on our tests because they're easy to memorize. The more complex questions, just like a simple, anything simple, you know what that means versus complex. Complex is going to require more thoughtful answer. How? How did we get our alphabet? You would have to start with the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians were sea traders with the next group.
The Greeks.
The Greeks. And then the Greeks were sea traders with the Romans. And so that took a lot more of an answer. Why? Why did language develop? Well, language developed because as people became more complex and developed in their societies, they needed a better way to communicate with each other. And what questions? What might, sorry, I can't think of a question. Let's look at our book. What did the Romans do to change the Greek alphabet? Again, it's going to be more than just a 1 or 2 word answer. So these are the complex questions. I want you to be able to know the difference between these two and the importance of the distinction between the two. Answering questions. When you answer questions, it's really important, and the book on page 53 really emphasizes this. When you answer these questions that you've asked yourself, answer them in complete sentences. The reason is you're going to retain that information better. If I just say that the alphabet was created, the first alphabet was created 4,000 years ago, I'm missing an important part. Or if I just say the answer would be 4,000, that doesn't help me fit that information into my file cabinet as if I would have said the Phoenicians first made the alphabet 4,000 years ago. When I write that down, that's going to help stick in your brain better than just 4,000. So in your book, I want you to start getting in the habit of writing complete sentences. Instructors really like it as well, so remember that little tidbit. Finding the facts you need for comprehension. So again, you are going to, I'm on page 54. You're going to, you're going to ask yourself these guide questions. You're going to assess your prior knowledge. I didn't put that on here. I'm going to put it right here. So if you're just about to read something, you're going to ask yourself those guide questions. That's what we talked about, getting your brain activated, thinking about what you're going to read. You're going to think about your prior knowledge. Well, what do I already know about this? Again, it's almost like if you're going to go see a movie, you want to have a general idea of what you're going to be seeing. And that gets your brain ready for what you're going to see. If you're about to go see a love story and you think you're seeing a horror film, that's going to be a little bit jarring to yourself. And you're going to be sitting there going, what? What? So again, get an idea of what you're going to be reading about. So say you've read through a passage and then your teacher asks you a series of questions. Well, if what you're reading took quite a while to get through, you're not going to want to read the entire thing to find those answers. So what you're going to learn how to do and practice doing is thinking about keywords. So keywords are going to be those words that you're going to hone in on. You're going to be scanning the text for so that you can find your answer quickly. If you look on page 55, scanning for keywords. So if you're looking up a number in a phone book, you're not going to start in the very beginning. You're going to be scanning, looking for whosever phone number you want. You're not going to read every single entry. You're going to be scanning to look for a certain number. or a certain name. If you are trying to answer the question, who are the Phoenicians? What would be the thing that you would look for? What would be that one word that your brain would be scanning for, your eyeballs? Would you be looking for the word who? No. You would hopefully be looking for the word Phoenician. So you would go through and you would scan looking for Phoenician, and then when you see that word, you'd stop and see if you can find your answer that way. So when we talk about keywords, that's what we're alluding to, or that's what we're making reference to, the word that you are going to be scanning for. And there's an activity that we're going to do in class about keywords. Moving ahead to page 61. We're going to be doing these pages in class in between. Go ahead and look at the headings, but the next thing that I wanted to talk about was noting the sequence of events. Lots of talk all through college about the sequence or chronology of things as they happen. Sequence just means the order that something happens. If you think about a novel, usually it goes in the order that they happen. A novel would be a fiction story, just a book, something that you're going to read for pleasure. It starts in the beginning of time and then goes to the end where everything is wrapped up. It could also be called chronological. Chronological means the same thing. It's the order of things as they happen. What you have to be careful of is not all stories or information are given in the order that they happen. They might go back in time and then forward in time. And your job as a reading detective and being active is to then sort that out in your mind and be able to figure out, okay, the first thing that happened was the Phoenicians made this first alphabet. The next thing that happened were the Greeks made their Greek alphabet. The third thing were the Romans got a hold of the alphabet and they made some more changes. But it may not be presented in that exact same order, but your job is to figure that out. So we'll be doing a lot with sequence and chronology in your book. So when you come to class tomorrow, be sure that you have your sheet filled out, and I will see you then.